Welcome to another session of Fusion Talks, where we invite inspiring leaders and disruptors who challenge the status quo, blending their personal passion with professional impact. Today, we have a special guest who epitomizes the courage to leap from the structured world of corporate into the entrepreneurial space, driven by a relentless passion to empower people, to transform workplaces into thriving cultures. Nathalie P, your journey is both relatable and bold. You stepped out of successful regional HR leadership role to launch your own consultancy and learning studio, HueZ, focused on modernizing learning and elevating human-centric leadership. But before I say more, I will hand over the floor to Nathalie herself to introduce us to her why and what made her pivot into the new chapter of purpose and growth. Hello, Nathalie, and welcome to Dubai.
Hello, Yasmine, and thank you for having me with you and being part of Fusion Talks.
It's such an honor to have you, Nathalie, and I would love, and even our Fusion Talks audience, to know more about your journey directly from you.
Of course. So I can tell you that it was since the beginning. I chose HR, and I was basically lucky to be advised and onboarded by a great doctor at the Lebanese American University. So she has been basically part of my career growth since then. She was guiding me. She was basically watching each and every step. And she saw what the passion that I have. Yeah. She saw that I so much fit into this new world of human resources. And this is where it all started, actually. I had a vision years ago. I worked so hard on it. I can tell you the journey was not easy at all. But yet it started from the local business. It grew to the regional organizations. And then my last journey in the corporate world landed with an American company focused into the healthcare sector with a scope of maybe 80% of the emerging markets. Yes. Like I was covering Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. And there was always a dream. But when was the question? And I never had time to think of the when and the how and the what. So in 2023, when organizations were kind of recovering back from COVID, especially the healthcare, because I used to work for a company that was so much focused into the elective surgeries, so they were so much impacted, and the recovery was really hard. And with the recovery, there's a lot of changes.
Yes.
These changes, when they came, it was a lot of what's next? What about this change?
Question marks.
A lot of question marks. What about this new leadership style? What about the new leadership? What about me? What about my team? A lot of what abouts and what ifs. And this started a lot of chaos. And to top it up, I did a burnout. And that was the moment of, you know what? I asked myself, like, have you been waiting for this moment to think of what's next? So this is where it all started. Out of pain, out of a lot of chaos, HueZ was born. Something that has always been a dream, but it was vague, it was not clear. And this is where I had to basically step back and reflect, like, dreams without execution are hallucinations. And if not now, then when? And why am I not gonna take the risk? I'm gonna take the risk now. I'm gonna take this leap of faith. I'm gonna look into myself and what I love most and take it to a different level. So HueZ was born by default. The name starts with a spark. It's not a usual training or talent management organization name. Why? Because I love colors. I believe in color psychology.
I'm passionate.
I'm super passionate about what I do. And I wanted to focus into the neuroscience and experiential learning. Why? Because when I was brainstorming on what's next, I literally focused on the areas of development that basically could have been, how can I fill these areas of development? Going back to the times when I was an HR director and hiring trainers, what were the challenges back then? I brought these challenges and brought them into solutions. So I wanted training to be more fun. We tend to feel like, you know what, training is serious. It's this formal setup, classroom setup, and you need to be super committed, and this is what's growth. For me, growth is about an experience, because experience lasts more. A learning through experience has a way higher retention than just giving
And
information. And impact, surely. So hue comes from the diversity. It's like the hue of colors, the gradation of colors. Why? Because it brings in diversity, different mindsets, different leadership thoughts and styles. And the Z came out after my first headstand, after my burnout. So, and it's just bridging in the Z with the H, which is basically, bringing all this diversity across the region. And HueZ was born based on this story.
I love it. So there are tipping points that through our personal life trajectory that blends with our professional life, you receive a calling. And the wake-up call was all the opportunities that you were seeing and sensing, but it was somehow buried. You listened to yourself and you had this pinch of faith to do the sleep and established HueZ.
Yeah.
So we want to unpack this further together, this leap from corporate to self-leadership before leading others and being the architect of cultures. So the trigger point for you to leave a high-profile corporate career and venture into your own consultancy, it was this post-COVID, awakening, which you mentioned. Is it the burnout? Is it that you don't want to keep postponing your personal dream?
To be very honest, it was the burnout. It was the burnout because it was a very big wake-up call. Because I had to basically question myself. My body is giving me a lot of signs. And this body has a battery, it has a shelf life. So if it's consumed that much by now,
exhausted,
then what's left for later on? And sometimes we tend to forget, if we're mentally tired, okay, traumatized or whatever, we go for therapy, right? We basically learn how to think differently, change our mindset, slow down, etc. But we forget something very important, that all the tension, the anxiety, everything that is in here, or that was in here, dropped down to our gut, to our body, to our joints. We never had this awareness. So, and this is why burnout has been basically hitting so badly in the past years, right? And unfortunately, I'm a person who believes in culture shaping a lot and in the well-being of people. And then I was the first to be basically hit with a burnout. So that was a very big wake-up call, where I wanted to honestly step back, and I had to ask myself, like, Nathalie, is this what you want? Passion is not a burnout, does not equal a burnout. So definitely there was some kind of a reassessment needed.
Exactly.
And this is where basically it went.
Yeah, I second you, because this burnout thingy, it's becoming more common to be fleshed out in conversations, in studies, in articles, in media. Sometimes we are in denial, and we continue to be, immersed in this endless race with the pressure of the corporate world.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're over exploited, and we exploit ourselves. So listening, pausing, and finding the space to take care of yourself, honestly, this is the first symbol of self-leadership, the awareness to accept it. Brilliant. So if you go back in time, what is the one thing you would have done differently?
I would have learned to say no earlier. I learned to say no maybe in the last 6 months of my corporate life. And if I honestly, if I had the chance to go backward, I would have basically said no in many instances to protect myself and my team.
And boundaries, setting boundaries.
Setting boundaries, because it's unfortunate that my understanding for leadership was, to always find solution, to be the yes person. If you ever say no, it was like she's a no person. Like, no, you need to be the yes. You're HR. You need to be there for the people. And then eventually, after this, sometimes you feel like, fine. I mean, what's next? Yes, working 24 hours, 7 days a week, holidays. Okay,
Weekends.
What's next? Is this loyalty?
Mm-hmm.
No. Is this commitment?
Is this setting an example for the rest
Is this
of
setting?
the team?
Exactly, it's a no. On the contrary, I used to push my team to basically be more at ease in their schedule. I care about outcome, but because I was sitting on an executive role, it was very demanding, and with the number of, countries that I was responsible for, it was a wide region, So different time zones, sometimes different work days. So it was very demanding, and I never learned how to basically build my own well-being space that basically impacted me big time. And now I wish I had learned this from before.
This is a great advice that we need to keep top of mind, because it's not only about keeping on shouldering and onboarding more responsibilities that sets the example. Absolutely. What fears did you face, and how did you navigate them, Nathalie?
So first thing would be loneliness. It's the entrepreneurial word. It's a lonely word at the beginning. And definitely lack of stability on several aspects, maybe financial.
Uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainties. And on top of that, it's the regional uncertainty. I started not in the best timing. So how did I maneuver around it? It was basically, I decided it's a mindset shift. I had the time to sit by myself. I had the time to heal. I had the time to calm down.
Reflect.
I had the time to reflect a lot. And the moment that I gave myself that chance to take care of myself.
And sanity.
Exactly. I cooled down.
You'll have clarity.
And I had a lot of clarity. And this is basically where I said, you know what? It's a mindset shift. It's all in our brain. It's all in here.
Exactly.
So you just need to shift gears sometimes. And eventually, I'm not going to tell you that it was easy.
Never.
And it's still hard. I'm not there.
I agree.
But I can tell you that this experience so far gave me a lot of a lot of calmness, a lot of happiness, a lot of fulfillment. Because
And learning.
Oh, the learnings, that's another story.
Another curve by its
exactly.
own.
Yeah.
It is a blessing, by the way, to be able to experience all of this.
Yeah.
That the satisfaction, the gratification that you earn from it, you will not sometimes really have this space to enjoy while doing everything you've been doing and immersed in this pile of work, which is endless. What does self-leadership mean to you today as both an entrepreneur and a people developer?
So for me, it all starts with self-awareness. I'm blessed that I've had the chance to go through a self-awareness journey, in which in many times and many instances, I have a lot of clarity on certain aspects or traits and behaviors. Definitely the well-being part was something that I was letting down, and that's why it hit me. But when I stepped into the entrepreneurial world, and when I am basically joining others in their growth journey, the first thing that I tell them, like, guys, first thing, be self-aware. Why? First, because I mean, we used to work in big organizations, and we know how much we used to invest a lot in performance assessments and the quarterly check-ins and.
Yeah.
But let's face it, I'm not sure that anyone that I know, at least, had a transparent feedback from any of his direct bosses. Sometimes we don't really know our areas of development. Sometimes we don't really, sometimes we deny them. But in many instances, we might not know, because no one has ever shared them with us. And why we don't share? Because it's a human nature we try to protect.
And overcare about feelings and emotions and perceptions.
Exactly. So with this, eventually, what's left for you?
You.
Exactly. And it's basically trying to understand and be transparent and honest with your own self, because this is what matters.
Brutally honest.
And the moment that you are transparent with yourself and you are self-aware, this is where you can help others, lead others, grow with others, or else it's not going to lead anywhere.
Yeah. To shun insecurities, be super honest with yourself. Lucky if you will have this purely, honest feedback with the right intentions to help you grow. But we owe it to ourselves.
Of course we do. So it's basically self-awareness. It is courage.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to have the courage to voice out, even in the corporate world.
It's a key attribute in leadership.
Exactly. So, and consistency. Because this is what matters now. I don't want to position neither myself nor HueZ as a commercial company that sells a workshop and moves. No. I want to base this connection on relations, on experiences. So, because these are the things that matter. I mean, they're not waiting for me to share with them theories. They can go and search it and have all the tools there. They have all the tools there to get any information they need. What they need is the practical experience and the memorable and fun moments that
fun that you infuse.
Exactly. So that is why it's all about neuroscience and experiential, because it makes people feel happy. And what's more beautiful than enjoying your learning?
Eliminating the barriers among team members as well, so that they can connect with more confidence, love, and know how to grow together as a team.
Exactly.
So you're redefining people development and learning in the Middle East. How do you see learning and leadership development evolving in the region?
I see it going in a great direction. Moving into the modernization of learning, people are accepting more gamification within the workshops. They're accepting more leadership retreats. They're accepting more activities that they bring them more together, closer together,
So
stronger
there's still
bonding.
appetite to invest
Yes.
in L&D for teams.
Yes. And there is now the appetite in making it more sustainable.
Okay.
What do I mean by more sustainable? I have one of my business partners that, for example, does not accept any printouts. Okay, so eventually everything is like they're waste free. They want to make it a clean environment.
I'm happy to hear this. So there's this consciousness on the execution element of it.
Exactly, and that's what I love about it, because now we're building in sustainability into L&D, and which makes it even, and the modernization of L&D. So what a beautiful mix it is. It's gonna take time to go into the modernization mindset because there's still some resistance in here. But at least I can tell you that the boat is sailing there.
That's great. I wanted to cruise further in this direction because, even in concerts like Coldplay, they measure their footprint, they have their report, they care. So it's touching various avenues.
And we are basically asking them what I personally do after each and every workshop. I care to know how do they feel after the workshop.
Interesting.
Because I really care to know what has changed.
What is resonating?
Exactly.
The takeaways.
Did they resonate to what they learned? Did they resonate to the experience itself? To the relation that they are building together? So I really care to touch base on the feelings. And in most of my workshops, I ask for the feelings and I usually share it over LinkedIn.
But after this hype, because, I'm keeping an eye on what you do and this beautiful execution, do you check in later as well to assess if the adoption or the retention is set into action?
Yes. In most of the instances, yes.
Great.
Again, I'm trying to build a relation with my business partners.
And this is the return on investment.
Exactly. So I try to focus basically on the clients that we're building a long-term relation together, because it gives me a lot of fulfillment when I'm part of their team's
the change management, the growth.
Yeah, I mean you can see the change happening, and when we build up leadership programs, we build them on different models, and each and every model, I mean there's some time frame between them. So we go back to the first model, we assess it, and then we go back to the second model.
It's a journey of different intersections.
Exactly. And they're so much connected, and especially if we started with the color of energies, it goes along the way. So it's a synchronized learning, and it's a common language of colors, which is so easy and super fun to maintain.
Can you share examples from your work where the experiential methods like Lego Serious Play or color energies shifted leadership mindsets?
I'm so sure that you can relate to vulnerability.
Yeah.
Be empathetic. Be vulnerable. These words that we used to hear a lot in the corporate world. Exactly. But if we go back in time, has anybody coached us how to be vulnerable and empathetic?
Rather than sharing an adjective solely.
Cliches, like this is the trend now. We need to be vulnerable. Please be empathetic with your people.
It's the buzzword of leadership.
Exactly. But no one has ever coached us.
Or we saw them walking the talk.
Exactly. That's another discussion.
Yes, another session.
So eventually, what I love about Colors of Energy and team fusion activities that I do and Lego Serious Play is that it brings people back to their childhood. The moment that they step into the room, from the C-suite to the middle managers to the N-1, the moment they step into the room and they see Lego on the table,
and the colors all around,
or the colors around them, or some masterpieces like spread around to tell their stories, or they literally roll up their sleeves and they get excited. Their eyes spark
in them.
Exactly. And they become like, the mood changes.
Yes.
The vibes immediately change. And they wouldn't wait for me to give them the guidance on what's next through
they
these
spread
tools.
And
they start playing with the tools, and they build their own activities. So, and this answers it all, honestly, and fulfills me a lot, because sometimes it's so hard to convince the C-suite that we're gonna basically bring in Lego to the learning. It's like, Lego? Are we there to play? Okay, you're gonna be sweating.
Are you serious, Nathalie?
You're gonna be sweating. Remember that. So this is a lot of fun. It brings a lot of. It gets them out of the comfort zone a lot. A wider scope, wider lens. Creativity at its best. And we're doing magic with Lego, honestly. I wish the videos or the photos
give justice to the experience. So it's from HueZ to amuse. Even in at childhood education stage, the Montessori sensual and the learning through play rather than intense homework.
Yeah.
That's what shapes characters back then. And even if I look back to the memories during all the kickoff meetings, leadership conferences, forget the keynote openings and those glossy speeches. It is the team building activities that carves memories with people that we can always, and it brings us so much closer than anything else.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's great. Why, again, self-awareness, under self-awareness, the first leadership skill leaders need to master?
Because if they're not self-aware, they cannot basically lead others. They cannot understand others. It's basically the base. How can you basically coach others if you're not self-aware?
It's taken for granted, self-awareness.
Exactly. So we need to give it more depth, more meaning. Try to understand your dominant color of energies, how you basically, how you use them, when do you use them.
Complement as well the team.
Exactly. How do I need to build my team? How do I need to mix my energies, the energies of the team? And how to assign and delegate, basically, because based on the colors of energies, you can better delegate to the right team members.
Who's best fit to do what?
Exactly. So, and eventually you'd understand your behaviors, which is so important, because in so many instances, we question, like, why did I do this? Why did I react like this? And on the other side, in so many instances, you say, like, or you hear it from your team, like, I don't like to work with this person, for example.
So there's an interpretation.
Exactly. So we help them to adapt to opposite colors of energies. We help them basically to learn that you need to blend the 4 colors of energies, and you need to use them whenever is needed. We all have the 4 colors of energies. And you'd be surprised when I do the exercise. I usually share with them cards, and I ask them, like, to keep whatever resonates to them. In many instances, many return certain colors, like they keep with them 2 colors out of 4. So this tells a lot
about, as well, diversity and inclusion.
Exactly. And this also tells about, how much I am aware. Am I in denial, or am I unconscious, or I don't want to show it around? So
I want a team that only mirrors me, or a team that we can thrive and be enriched in our differences.
Exactly.
That's really important. And it is all about those insights that we need to embed, appreciate in order to mature in our leadership journey. So let's move to the human side of business transformation. Why do you believe people are the true drivers of any change? Wearing the HR hat, Nathalie hat.
I love a quote by Simon Sinek that says 100% of your customers are people. 100% of your employees are people. And if you don't understand people, you don't understand business. So people are the drivers of any organization. Would you know about Apple if there wasn't a team driving this crazy business and taking it to different levels? Would you know, for example, a certain chain of hotels if you haven't had the best experience from their team? The people drive the business. We would not really know.
They make it or break it.
Exactly, the experience. They give you the experience.
The feeling.
Their commitment, their loyalty, the way they present their organizations, the way they work hard for their organizations, the way they give.
Innovate.
They innovate. So it's they are the drivers. They are the drivers of change. They are the drivers of innovation. So if we're not gonna value the people, then
we're preparing for failure.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Extracting life from the whole experience.
Exactly. So for me, people are the essence. And for me, definitely investing in people should come first. It should not be an expense. Where up till now, definitely, the first thing that a company cuts on cost on is basically talent development.
Unfortunately.
It's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. But we're getting better, So
at least this is ending with getting better. So I hope it continues to. When we say people first, they are the most important asset. So this asset needs to be fueled.
We hope that it reaches a stage where it's no more a cliche, but more of an action.
Exactly, like many other things. How can leaders balance business performance with people well-being in turbulent times? And God knows how much we are cruising turbulence, ambiguity, uncertainty, and sometimes fear to safeguard business.
Based on my experience on this topic specifically, because I've faced a lot of turbulences in the past years, I can tell you, kindness does magic.
I love this.
If they are kind and if they take any action in a kindness lens, whatever decision the organization will be taking, the employee will be absorbing and giving back. But when the employee feels that he or she is just a number on an Excel file, while I've been working 24/7 in the normal days, right? I've been giving this organization all my time.
Devotion.
Fully devoted, getting your numbers, overachieving, blah, blah, blah. And then over a sudden, anything turbulent happens around, then there's risk on the people.
The first to be compromised.
Exactly. While we work in a turbulent region, and as we speak, it's globally turbulent.
Yes.
So eventually, when I'm a business owner, I decide to basically go globally or expand my business, I presume that I'm conscious enough that there are the good days and the bad days. And I should be ready for the bad days before the good days. The good days, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
But when the bad days come, I cannot just sacrifice towards my people directly, because these people are going to bring me back the business. And the turbulent times, they're not going to stay. So I'm going to rehire. Takes you more time to train.
Yeah.
Takes you more time to basically bring them to the level of the previous team.
The knowledge.
And the ROI, it's going to basically delay. So what's smart is that you keep them, you retain them, you be kind to them, try to find common grounds with them, and they will appreciate it, and they will be motivated, because at the end of the day, the turbulent times are not impacting the business only, they're impacting the people also.
Exactly.
So they have their psychological safety issues also. So it's not only about the business. We should not only be corporate focused or numbers focused in terms of turbulent times. And unfortunately, most of the organizations are falling into this trap.
Yeah. It is kindness, dignity, and respect.
Yeah, of course.
Which as well puts the safety in the environment, the sense of security to keep going as the first line of defense for the company and the brands. How can you help organizations better shape their cultures? I like when you say people and culture architect. And this is big. Culture, it's what glues us all. It's the identity. You can feel it once you step in a certain company. So how can you help them shape it?
After COVID, most of the organizations during COVID went through the remote and hybrid attendance and all this. I'm with definitely giving flexibility, but I'm not with going fully remote. Because I do believe that the moment that the team fully goes remote, there's something that is broken.
And the connection.
The bonding, working as a team, as one team.
Collaboration.
The collaboration. Suddenly you would feel that there's this blaming attitude in there, pointing fingers here and there. You would feel that there's some kind of toxicity coming out there somewhere, somehow. So, and I do believe with team fusion and team building activities, this is one of the core essence for building cultures, and not the ideal and not the typical team building activities. Like, I mean, when we plan team building activities for our people, let's not do the cliche ones. Let's go hike. Okay, but for me, a hike should be an activity that is done, and during like spring, like a ritual thing. But when we talk about team building activities or team bonding, let's go more creative. Let's bring a lot of fun in there. Let's break the ice. Let's bond them together. Let's help them build something together. Let's bring them in one way or another together in creative ways. We can do a lot of stuff with balloons, with Lego, with mindfulness, like pound sticks. We can anything that is so much fun, okay, that would basically help them kind of connect together. And there's one of the workshops that I do for culture shaping. It's based on cards. And these cards are basically the same set is split between the management team and the N-1, okay? And there's a canvas where they would select basically what are their 3 culture pillars, main culture pillars. And they kind of put down a strategy on how they want to achieve it and who is the champion for it, okay? And the same thing goes for the second team, okay? And then I bring them both together to the same room, and you'd be shocked that if there's commonality, there would be only one common.
So complete disconnection?
Complete disconnection.
Oof.
And they'd be shocked because the management team, they want basically, certain pillars to focus on that they see in their people.
Okay.
And their people see something else that is missing at their side. And this takes me back to the concept of feedback and performance connections and check-ins. Because if we talk really closely with our teams, and if we are really connected with our people, we would not face this.
Yeah.
And I do something in one of the, usually when I go into any workshop and we kind of they start introducing each other, I usually ask them to present something that no one knows.
About themselves?
About themselves. Okay, and they started. They know everything about me. No, everybody knows. I know everything about my team.
I'm an open book.
I'm an open book, exactly. And then you'd be shocked that literally we would have a team that got talent at the end of the intro session. And then, I mean, they would be surprised. Like they start basically building a lot of chit chats around, you know, that topic. I never knew that you sing. I never knew that you play football. I never knew that you flew. I don't know where. I don't know.
And those, you know, little things do matter, because why you're not discovered fully as a talent, as an employee, as a coworker, colleague, and then you're also seeing the disconnection in the overarching approach, which is culture. Because if it was strong from the top, it will be well cascaded.
Exactly.
And you'll be able to observe more commonalities rather than contrasts.
And I always tell them, like, no matter how much you think you know about others around you, and even your people, your direct team, each one is fighting a silent battle somewhere. So this takes me back to empathy.
And kindness.
And kindness, exactly. So do not judge. Try to get as closer as possible. It's a human nature.
And spend more time with people.
With the pace that we've been living, and most of the organizations are passing through, there's no time for the people. There's no time. And for me, this is the biggest mistake, because the most time that you should give should be for your people. They're going to be driving the business. As a leader, your job is not to do the day-to-day task. Your job is to connect with your people.
To listen more.
To listen.
Rather than direct.
And the more you listen, the more they will speak up.
Yes.
And when we talk about listening, we're talking about listening, focusing. Not preparing the answer before. I really know what you're going to say. I haven't said anything
yet. Or having your eyes on the screen of the computer rather than being fully attentive with the person seeking your advice. Or
being present is so important in listening, and we rarely see it because we're all over the place. We need to listen, and we need to reply to this email, and we need to take this call,
and stretched.
Exactly.
But this goes again back to respect.
Of course.
Respect the presence of others, giving them, you know, the virtue of being heard, you know, open up. So you see it sometimes compromised in check-ins, and feedback, momentum, exit meetings, onboarding. So and we need to be aware that some people are shy even to ask for this time or fraction of the attention, unless some are politically correct to book other leaders for coffee, lunch, but not necessarily others, so they remain off radar.
Yeah, because I mean, in many instances, also we fail in giving them the time or making them feel that they have the right to kind of block us for a coffee connection at any time. Because if our schedule is fully booked all the time, and whenever they need to connect with us, our schedule is fully booked,
unavailable.
So,
what signal are we giving? Yes, this is very important. So building HueZ and your vision for the future, Nathalie, what is your vision in the coming 3 to 5 years?
I can tell you, as long as I am glowing, growing,
and flowing,
I'll keep on using. Because it's giving me a lot of fulfillment. When I am also growing with people around different organizations, different sectors, different levels, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. I am also learning in parallel. My learning curve is × 3, I can tell you now.
There's no doubt.
So So as we speak, I think I'm going with the flow. And definitely HueZ will basically stay focused and grow into the neuroscience and experiential learning, because it's something that I so much believe in. It's so much me. So I'm not doing something that, that does not really feel like it's Nathalie. It's Nathalie. I mean, when I step into the stage, I mean, you feel my energy, you feel my presence, you feel my passion. So I cannot just go there and just deliver a workshop just for the purpose of facilitating. There's a touch in every workshop. I literally craft each and every workshop for every client. So there isn't something like there's a workshop that fits all. I never did it as we speak until now, and I don't plan to do it. I want to basically, I committed to my business partners that I want them to have a special experience with HueZ. And this experience, I want them to feel like HueZ is part of their organization and it's not outsourced. So I meet with my business partners once, twice, and 3 times, and 10 times just to get all the information needed to brainstorm together, to build the content together, and to make something that talks their language.
Wonderful. How do you see yourself evolving as a leader and entrepreneur?
I would see myself evolving, as I said, among other brilliant minds around me. Networking, coffee connections with them,
synergizing,
checking their progress, possible chances of adding my spices and experience to their growth journey. It's very powerful, honestly.
It's continuous learning.
For me, definitely, and for them. So it's a mutual learning.
Exactly.
Curve.
You're adding value and learning from every experience, which doesn't imitate the other.
And something very important in here, and this is a commitment that I had with myself, that I'll be embracing failure and talking about failure more than success. Because failure is the recipe of success. And the moment that you are fine with failure, and the moment that you are fine with acknowledging that I did wrong in here, I messed up in here, and I really need to rework it around and do it better the other time, it's very crucial, especially in the entrepreneurial life. You cannot literally go blind and just move. And it's very important that you have this very tiny, small circle that you super trust, that they share with you things as is, and they're not cheerleaders. You will have a lot of cheerleaders maybe around you.
Not always.
Not always, exactly. But eventually, it's very rare to have those that they will share with you the feedback as is, because they so much genuinely and objectively care about you.
And back to self-awareness, this is a credit invested in self-awareness. Yep. It's the good, bad, and the ugly. What excites you most about the future of people development in the region? Do you think this will be taken over by AI? Chatbots?
Again, I'm a true believer in people. So for me, I always say it like people are behind innovation. So AI will be a tool that will help them maybe be more efficient, that will help them innovate faster, grow faster. We need to use them smartly, definitely. But I prefer to stay back to the old school of people are the base.
People first, not machines.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now to pivot to our Fusion Fire section. Are you ready?
Always ready.
What's one word that defines your leadership style?
One word. I would say courageous.
Wow. A habit you can't start your day without.
Can I say two?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
generous.
So, first and the most important is expressing gratitude each and every morning. And then kicking off my day with my workout. Two things that I promised myself to never, ever let go.
Bravo. Gratitude, it's counting your blessings. It's for the mindset and the soul and taking care of your body.
I mean, I cannot but be grateful.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Always. Most underestimated skill leaders need today.
Without any question. Kindness.
Yeah, we need more kindness.
We need a lot. I mean, this world needs a lot of kindness. So we need a lot of kindness champions. Guys, please be kind, be
to
a kind
heal,
champion.
to grow, to
make
to
difference
take care
in this world.
Ay, wallah. Book or resource that shifted your mindset, other than Simon.
He's very inspiring.
Indeed.
It's a person actually who inspired me on a spiritual level and helped me understand the real meaning of happiness. My understanding for happiness was way different. It was the title, the organization that I work for.
Yeah, I hear you.
And now for me, happiness is peace. Happiness is my time, is reflection, is quality time with the loved ones. So happiness is seeing others grow. And it's basically more into the simple things in life.
Yeah, little pleasures.
Being grounded, rooted. I mean, I love doing basically leadership workshops that they are in nature, or being grounded is very important, and something that I think with the very fast pace that I was going through, I never really experienced it. Just flying, you know. And being grounded is something very important, honestly.
It teaches us a lot. Humility, appreciation, and
it brings a lot of peace inside of you.
Yeah,
and peace brings happiness.
These are the joys, and this is maturity, where we start, knowing better what to choose and how this reckons inside you.
Evolving.
Yeah, continuous. Your personal mantra in 3 words.
It's going to be more than 3 words. So it's going to be heart in it, head on it, and hands building it.
Lovely.
And it takes me back to my tagline, dance with passion to the rhythm of growth. It all goes back to the passion, the love of what I do, the connection between the hands, the brain, the soul, the creativity, this word of, it's very human, it's very different, it's very deep.
And it is all connected.
And it's so me.
Yeah.
And this space that I took and this time off that I took helped me understand myself way more outside the corporate box. So, yeah.
Keep dancing with your passion. And I like that in different episodes when we are discussing with various leaders, the leadership with the heart and soul, that it is becoming more recurrent because we need it. And I'm so happy that you also brought it up. The heart, the kindness, peace, the gratitude. So that's what defines leadership when it is embodied at core.
Yeah.
So really, thank you, Nathalie, for this heartfelt and thought-provoking conversation. You reminded us that in the face of disruption and uncertainty, it is the human spirit, self-awareness, and our willingness to evolve that becomes the most powerful catalyst for change. Before we wrap up, Nathalie, is there any one last message, quote, or tip you wish to leave with our audience, or something we didn't cover up, but you feel passionate still to mention?
I would call the audience to give time to connect to themselves and understand their passion. It's never too late. Because when you focus on what you love most, it brings back a lot to you.
Happiness.
Happiness. We have a lot on our plate, right? Life is just getting harder and harder. At least in the professional life that we choose, let us be happy.
And come with a purpose.
Definitely, the purpose definitely is the beginning, is the base.
Yes, so this is again our Fusion Talks audience, another episode that re-emphasizes the human connection, waking up to purpose, channeling as well what we do, how we feel, what we think, to creating a lasting impact, not only in business, the world at large, and the people that revolve in our ecosystem. So don't forget to stay tuned to what is coming, subscribe, follow, and learn from what we're trying to share with you to shape minds and hearts. Thank you very much, Nathalie. It was such a pleasure to listen to you today.
Same in here, and keep doing what you're doing. You're sparking a lot of Fusion Talks. So keep doing what you're doing.
Inshallah, you too.
Thank you. Thank you.